Hello, and welcome replay viewers. I'm glad that you're here and thanks for watching. Stick around if you want to find out more about stress and how to reduce stress. So this is our topic for today, and the reason is that it's actually Stress Awareness Day today, and I thought what a great opportunity to talk about stress and how to reduce it. Now, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Una Doyle. I'm the founder of CreativeFlow.tv, and I help creative business owners to confidently and profitably stand out from the crowd and make a difference doing creative work that fills the heart with pride without selling their soul. Okay, so watch now for stress symptoms, a different way of looking at stress, and also 3 specific ways that you can use to reduce stress in your life and in your business. Now, let's share this out. I want to have as many people watching this as possible. Look, do you know what? There are so many creative business owners out there who they're experiencing stress that it can even get so bad that people feel depressed. And I just think it's really important that we get as many people watching this and acting upon it as possible. So who do you know that you can invite? You can tap at the bottom. There's like a little person icon that you can use to invite your friends or just share it out publicly. So we want to get the awareness spread and get people thinking about things. So let's just have a bit of a chat around, well, what exactly is stress and how do you know if you have it? Because I've done a lot of personal development work, so I very rarely feel stressed, and I don't tend to have a lot of chatter in my mind anymore, but I used to do. I used to have loads. So thank you for the likes. Yes, keep the thumbs up coming, and the hearts. But I used to feel a lot of that and had a lot of stuff going on in my head. So I thought what would be useful would be to see, well, I looked up Mind, which is a mental health charity, and see what did they talk about it. So here's some of the common signs of stress that they talked about, because I know for me, I don't tend to have it so much in my head anymore, but it will show up physically for me. So I think you've got to look at what type of person you are and how you tend to react to stress. Sometimes it can take me a few days to go, oh, actually I'm a bit stressed. What am I stressed about? For other people, it might be like really obvious what you're stressed about. So things like irritation can really cause that. If you're feeling pressured or overburdened, if you're anxious, if you feel like you can't switch off your thoughts, that they're just going new all the time, then that definitely is a symptom of stress. On the other hand, it can feel like, oh, just really a bit apathetic and lethargic, like you've lost your zest for life. And of course you might have worries around your health and things like that. Now, some ways in which you might behave that Mind talk about are finding it hard to make decisions. So maybe you're feeling overwhelmed. You might be avoiding people or situations rather than dealing with them. You might be snapping at people or having nervous habits like biting your nails. I used to do that years ago, actually. I'd forgotten about that. So being unable to concentrate. Maybe that's, because you've got so many things going on in your head. And you might also be doing things like smoking, drinking, eating too much, using drugs or sex. Anything that is kind of squashing down those emotions. You might be feeling restless. And I think this can happen where this is probably one of the signs for me is if I'm drifting, if I'm restless, I can't quite settle on one thing. So that's something to look out for. And you might not think, oh, I feel stressed. But so if you look out for these signs, then you can actually do something about them. Now, there are some physical symptoms as well. Things like, obvious one is like having a panic attack or breathing difficulties. But you might find like you have sleep issues. And so you might have trouble getting to sleep, you might be waking up and kind of worrying about things, feeling tired. You can have issues with your jaw from clenching your teeth or clenching your jaw, headaches. Definitely migraine is a real thing. Driving yourself too hard, being stressed from that point of view is a real contributor to migraines. And of course you've got things like blood pressure, having high blood pressure, and things like that, and just I think feeling nauseous, that can happen too. So these are some of the signs of stress, and I found this quote which I thought was amazing by a chap called Dave Willis. He seems to do in kind of romantic relationships, I think, and saving marriages and things like that. And he talked about stress as being, and if you just imagine each of these coming down, so you've got someone trying to repair every situation solo. So you got STRESS. Someone trying to repair every situation solo. And I think there is a real tendency, if you're feeling stressed, to not seek the help that you actually need. So I think that it's really important to make sure that you're getting the help that you need when you need it. Okay. I think the other thing is that when you're feeling stressed, then it's really easy to feel as if you have no control over it. But actually you do. You have a lot more control than you think. And so I think in general, one of the things to look at is that you are not a tree. Okay? If your stress is caused by circumstances rather than how you feel about yourself, do you know what I mean? So if they're caused by external circumstances, then you have the ability to change those circumstances. And rarely, it definitely is a lot smaller percent of the time where you do not have control to change those circumstances. You can certainly change how you feel about those circumstances. So you have more in your control than you think you do. So I want you to have the mindset of, I'm not a tree. I can change things. I can change my circumstances. It might not happen overnight, but definitely in the medium to long term, if your business isn't working for you, if your relationship isn't working for you, or if you're not in a relationship, or you're in one and you want to get out, or if you don't have the kinds of clients that you want, or if you're finding it hard to get clients to pay you what you deserve, then these are all things that you can change, okay? Absolutely. So here's some ways to actually do that, okay? So the first thing is to get into flow. Now, you might have heard me talk about flow in some of the other videos we have on here, but just to sum it up, it's following the path of least resistance. And think of your least resistance, your path of least resistance being your natural strengths and abilities. Okay, so thank you. Hey there, done it. So make sure you comment with, what is it that's stressing you and what are the ways that you use to deal with stress. So get into flow. And if you understand what your natural strengths are and you focus on having those and building those into your business, okay? It's not enough to just have self-awareness, okay? So there's a lot of people use personality profiling tools and they kind of go, oh, right, okay, yeah, that sounds like me. Huh, interesting. And then they don't do anything with it. So when I use a profiling tool called Ignition with my clients, and when I am using this, I'm saying, we're working on, okay, so what is the best business model for you? What are the best growth strategies for you? Which are the best tasks and activities for you to be doing? And which are the ones that you want to ditch, or that you want to switch from this to another, or you want to delegate? What's the best team to build around you, when you are at the right stage to do that? If you already have one or more teams, how can you get them all working in flow together where everybody is adding the most value possible and it is being leveraged really effectively? So whether you're a solo business owner or more, then there are ways that you can get into flow and really get this working for you. Now, I think the other thing is, when you understand how to get into flow, you can then understand how to unblock your blocks to flow. And that's the way to think of it, because if you imagine a river, all right, so imagine a river is coming down the mountain and there's a blockage. So you're at the space where there's no water, or there's only a little trickle of water. You don't unblock it from where you are. You have to go upstream to block it. And it's exactly the same thing in your business. So you've got to go upstream. You've got to go to the source of the problem. And a lot of the time I have clients coming to me saying, oh, I need help with selling. And actually, when we look at things, they're like, well, actually, you need help generating leads. Or, well, you've got enough leads, but maybe your offer isn't right. So it's really about doing that detective work to find out, well, what are the real blocks? And then you can actually fix them, rather than it just being this nebulous thing of stress. I'm stressed, all right? So that's one thing, get into flow. Here's the second way for you to reduce stress, and that is to get off to a good start with a morning routine. Now, I have to put my hands up here. I've fallen foul of this just in the last few days. I've had a few changes in my business. You might have noticed I've been live streaming a lot more because I'm part of a community where we're doing these share-a-thons. They're amazing, really inspirational live streams. But the thing is, it's changed my routine, and I'm having to adjust my week structure to fit into that, and it's kind of that and a couple of other things have thrown me out slightly, and I got out of my morning routine, and I am back on it tomorrow, I can tell you, because my God, what a difference it makes. And so here's the things that you need to be doing in your morning routine. And for those of you who are saying, I'm not a morning person, or I have kids to deal with, I don't have time to do a morning routine, you do not have to spend long on these things. You know, you might only spend 1 minute or 5 minutes on each of these things. So, and if it's too much for you to take them all on at once, just start doing one. Do it for a few weeks and then introduce another. Do that for a few weeks, then introduce another, and eventually you will be doing them all. So very quickly, the first thing I want you to do is to make sure you're focusing on what you are grateful for. Gratitude focuses our mind on what we have and what we want that is coming to us, and it just puts us in a better frame of mind. It was interesting, actually. I did a joint session with one of my clients. Occasionally his wife, who's a partner in the business, comes on, and they said, I said, oh, how are you getting on with your morning routine? And she said, oh, it's brilliant. He is way less stressed. He's playing with the kids more. He seems to be just so much more focused and clear on everything. And this is what will happen when you have a morning routine. So get grateful. And that was part of what was causing him to be more upbeat and to be in a better mood. He said that himself, is the gratitude. Now, a simple way to do that is just write down 3 things you're grateful for. Now, if you've got time to write a longer list, brilliant. I mean, even just things like, I woke up this morning. I'm in a house. I'm not out on the street. You know, trust me, there are a lot of things for us to be grateful for. And quite often the problems we have are first world problems. You know, they're not life-threatening problems most of the time. So gratitude, journaling. Now, sometimes what I will do is I will just write down my things, and then I will kind of write down, okay, this is what I'm focusing on today. This is what I want help with today. I'm asking my brain for help. So yes, get grateful. Definitely. It honestly, Donna, it helps in so much. It really does. Do it and let me know how you get on. So you can write down what you're grateful for, what you want to be working on that day, but also you can just journal like a stream of consciousness. And you can even be writing, I don't know what to write. I feel really stupid. What am I supposed to be writing in this journal? Just start doing it. It doesn't matter. And eventually things will come up. And I think if maybe you're not connected to, if you're not in touch with what is going on and what you're stressed about, journaling can be really good to help you uncover that. And it can also help you organise your thoughts. I get loads of ideas when I journal. Sometimes that's why I don't journal very much. I'll do the gratitude and things because I'm like, I don't need any more ideas right now. I just need to get on with stuff. So then the next thing is to have meditation. Now, it's up to you how you do this. You can just have a minute or 2 of silence. If you believe in a higher power or are religious, you can pray or you can chant. You might listen to guided meditations. That's what I often do. So you usually will listen to a guided meditation or I will chant. And that helps me to stay focused. My fiance, he prefers just pure silence and he meditates much better that way. So different personalities and strengths will work for different things. Okay, exercise. Now, quite often, actually, this is the one that I will start with because it gets the blood pumping, it gets your brain working, and it just gets you moving first thing in the morning. And with that as well, actually, make sure you're drinking water because when we wake up, our brains have been kind of doing this drainage and stuff overnight, and we need to flush that out of our body. So, you know, you want to exercise and drink plenty of water to help do that and to help really wake yourself up. And if you are lucky enough to be somewhere that it is dry, go outside. If you can exercise, go for a walk, or even just step out into the back garden and just get the daylight, because that affects our melanin production, which helps us sleep better. And the better you sleep, the better your morning routine is going to be, and the rest of your day as well. Okay, so exercise with water and ideally daylight, because the light that you get outside is way better for us than the light we have indoors. It's something to do with the lux, you know, the strength of light bulbs and the strength of daylight. You know, light bulbs are only a fraction of what we get outside. Okay, so the exercise that will wake you up. You're focusing on what you're grateful for, you're journaling, and you're having some sort of meditation or silence. And then the other thing is to read. Now, if you're not a reader, I would take this as an opportunity to start. Because whilst you definitely could watch videos instead or listen to audios, and I often do that when I'm walking, I'm listening to a training, I'm listening to a podcast, and that's great. But when you read, I think it's a different quality of information, particularly if you take notes of any kind, you know, write down some actions. You can do that with the journaling. So, you know, I think, you know, a podcast, a video, that is often just a small subset of the depth of information that you can get from a book. So even if you only read a few pages a day, over a year, just think how many books you'll have read that you wouldn't have read otherwise. And that can help to improve your expertise, you know, so you can read on whatever your craft is, you can read on business development and ways of doing business, you can read on personal growth, on health, on your relationships, whatever it is that floats your boat, but it's going to help you to really expand your mind. So those are some things that I think make up a great morning routine. Okay, so here's the third way for you to reduce stress, and that is to get focused. Now, quite often people are like, particularly us creatives, right? We have so many ideas going on and so many different projects that we could be doing. And it's really easy to just kind of go, oh, I'm spinning this plate, and I'm spinning this plate, and I'm spinning this plate, and I'm spinning this plate. Kind of, okay, I'm spinning all these plates, and then things start falling off, and it kind of gets all a bit panicky, and that. This is not the way you want to be running your life. Now, the interesting thing is, as creatives, we create chaos easily, and we can also get ourselves out of it. But that doesn't mean that it's actually a nice way to live. And it definitely can be stress inducing. So what you need to do is to really get focused. And so when I'm working with my clients, then, you know, on my one-to-one ongoing clients, we're doing things like 90-day plans. We're focused on very, very specific projects and processes that help them run their business in the right way, helping them to build the habits that are going to work for them, putting in place the systems, you know, all of these things that basically help them run the business their way and make it all work better. And so rather than, you know, having all these plates spinning, you need to choose. And I'm not saying you can't do all these ideas, but you can't do them all in one go. Because what that does is it spreads your resources too thin. And just imagine if you had five projects that you were working on, and you're only going to make like this much, you know, this much progress, this much project, because you're trying to do them all at the one time, rather than, well, let's pick one of those, you know, or at the most two, at the most three. I mean, I would say over 90 days, I wouldn't want you to have more than 3, you know, reasonable sized projects to do, so over a 3-month period. And it might be that you have one big project with some smaller projects to make that one big thing happen. And so I think the danger is, because we think really big as creatives, we are often over optimistic about how much we can achieve. And so I think what really helps is to prioritize. And in order to do that, you have to know, well, what are the best steps for me to be taking for where I am right now? What are the best strategies for me to be implementing for my natural strengths? And getting really clear, absolutely, Thank you, Donna. Quality over quantity. That's absolutely what I mean. And so rather than kind of trying to juggle all these different things, just get super focused and don't be afraid to repeat things. You know, I've been working on one project for months, and I got it launched, and now I'm tweaking it and I'm making it work better and better and better. So, you know, whereas in the past I would have done that and then I would have gone on to the next thing and then I would have lost all that value I would have created, whereas instead I'm leveraging that, I'm getting more from it. And it also means, and this is a really important thing, the more focused you are, the more trust you generate. So the more trust you generate in your team, whether that team is your friends and your family or whether it's employees or freelancers that you're working with, and it generates more trust in your clients. You know, if you are constantly going, oh, we're doing this, and oh, we're doing this, and now we're doing that, they have no idea what you stand for. Okay, so you've got to get, by being really super focused, trust me, there is more than enough new things you can bring into that. There is more than enough variety that you can, you know, in all the different things you need to do to really make it work properly. So, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so if you've got any questions, you know, pop them in the chat. I've seen a couple of comments coming up. I hope I haven't missed anything. Let me just have a look at this. I'm not seeing those there. Where are they? Just see if there's anything else. So if you have any questions, you know, pop them in the comments and I will come back. I think I'm getting what's there, but I don't know, as I was watching something earlier and things were really, really delayed. So apologies if I've missed your question. And I just want to say thank you for watching this, and if you've enjoyed this free content, I want you to know I go into this in a lot more detail in a session I run called Get Focused Strategy Session. And by the end of this session, you can expect to have clarity on your direction and the steps that you know you ought to be taking, so you know what to focus on. And, which is really important, you'll have uncovered any hidden challenges or got clearer on the ones that you have, so that they can actually be addressed, and you're going to go away with a very focused action list, right? So the link is in the description to go and do that. Great, fantastic, put all this into action, that's fantastic. And you know, the key thing is get into flow, you know, get into flow, get your morning off to a good start, and get focused, right? So that you are prioritizing. And I am constantly prioritizing all the time. But when you have the right structures to do that, it actually really frees you up. It means, you know, even say like I fall off the wagon with my morning routine like I did the last few days and I felt the impact of that, you know, boom, I can get back on it tomorrow because that structure is in place. It's exactly the same if I get really focused on something and immersed in something and I kind of aren't doing my normal task management system, boom, I can get straight back on it again. So it just helps to have these things that you can snap back to normal. So anyway, click the link to get to know more about the Get Focused Strategy session. You'll see there's testimonials on the page there from other people. To be honest, I have a few more that aren't even on there, that, you know, and it's all about getting that clarity, getting that sense of direction, and being able to let go of what you don't need to be focusing on right now. Instead of trying to do all the things, you can get focused on what is most important for you right now. Okay, so if you've enjoyed this, click that link. You can find out more. Remember to hit the love button and the like button and share this out, because I'm sure there are people that you know who would love to experience this too. I will see you again very soon. Thank you. Bye.